Welcome to the farm this morning, guys. It has been busy for us here on the farm. We're getting all our gardens planted for the season, but today we're going to be doing our potato towers. Now, you guys saw our video. We did our potato towers last year. If you guys didn't see that video and the harvest video, we'll put a link at the end so you guys can see the difference between this year's potato towers and last year's potato towers. This year, we're going to be doing our potato towers a little bit different. So stay tuned for that, guys. Come along on the farm as we build some potato towers today.
What you're going to need for your potato towers is some good dirt. Now this dirt we have came from the farm. We also bought some compost soil mix so that we can blend them together and hopefully get a good growing medium for our seed potatoes. You're going to need some straw to put between your layers and some sort of a cage to hold it up. We're using some leftover wire fencing from our goat run and chicken run, but you can use anything. If you guys have any ideas for something else that you use that works, make sure you leave it in the comments below. We're going to take all this with our seed potatoes and start putting them together. Once we finish building the potato tower, make sure you stick around to the end, because I have another trick to show you guys to grow potatoes in an even smaller space that could save you money. First step is taking some straw and putting it in the bottom to build a small nest to set your dirt on where you're going to put your seed potatoes. You don't need too much straw, you just want to have a little bit to cover the ground and enough to put your dirt on for your nest of potatoes. Once you have that spread out, you're going to take your dirt and you're going to put a layer on top of the straw a few inches thick. Once you dump your dirt in, spread it out so that it's even right around to your edges. Once we get that all spread out, we're going to go ahead and put our potatoes in, and we're only going to put 3 per level. You're going to take your seed potatoes and spread them around. If you want, you can cut yours in half to get more pieces out of them. I leave them whole. That way there's no chance that they're going to rot with a cut end. Spread them out. I'm going to cover them with a few inches of dirt, and then we're going to put another layer of straw and keep going all the way to the top of the tower. So this is our final layer at the top. I'm just going to cover these potatoes. Now we haven't added any water to this dirt yet. Once it's all put together and we have our final layer of straw on top, we're going to give it a really good water so that it gets soaked all the way through to the bottom. And then we're just going to leave it. We're probably not going to have to water this again for at least a week or until we get some really hot weather, which we're not expecting in the next little while. So you don't want to overwater. I think that was one of our issues last year, is we watered it too much and the potatoes just started to rot. So we're going to keep a closer eye on the dirt this year and make sure that we're only watering it when it starts to dry out. To give you an idea of how many supplies you'll need to build a potato tower, to do this one here, we used a total of 24 seed potatoes, a quarter of a bale of straw, and 1.5 wheelbarrows of dirt. That's not a lot to do one tower. If you bought a bale of straw, you could easily do 6 towers if you have the space for it. Now we added a T-post to ours just to steady it. We get a lot of wind here, and we were worried that with the weight of the potato towers, the wind might be able to tip it over. So we've just used a T-post that we had with some zap straps just to hold it up. If it's not super windy where you are, you may not need anything to hold up your tower. You could use a piece of scrap wood, a broom handle, anything you have on hand, and just a couple of zap straps just to make it a little more sturdy. Now that we've finished one of our potato towers, I'm going to show you another way to grow potatoes in an even smaller space than this. Now, if you're like us and you have animals, you probably have feed bags lying around. We're going to use these feed bags to grow potatoes in. What I'm going to do is cut a couple of holes in the bottom for drainage. I'm going to put about 6 inches of dirt in the bag. I'm going to put 2 potatoes in each bag, cover them with dirt, and I'm going to leave them. As the plants start to grow, what you're going to do is you're going to fill more dirt in until just a few inches of the leaves are visible above the dirt. And as the plants grow taller, you're going to continue to cover them. That's going to grow more potatoes in your bag. I expect each of these bags to grow approximately 20 pounds of potatoes. Now that varies on the type of potatoes you plant, where you're growing, what your seasons are like. So it's gonna vary everywhere, but that's what I'm hoping to get out of these today. So I have a few extra feed bags. I'm gonna go ahead and put some potatoes in them, and we're gonna see how well they grow here for us. So I've used just a pair of scissors and put about 4 slits on each side of my bag. I'm gonna go ahead and add about 6 inches of dirt now, and we're gonna set the bag on the ground by our potato towers and put our potatoes in. Okay, so that's probably about enough dirt in this one. Now we can put our potatoes in it and put a little more on top just to cover them. I have our base layer of dirt in here. I'm just gonna roll the edges down so that this part is low while the potatoes are small, so that it can still get sunlight and rain if it happens to rain. So just fold it down. I'm gonna add 2 potatoes to this bag, just setting them on top of the dirt with their eyes pointing up, and I'm gonna cover them with probably 2 inches of dirt just to cover them, and then we'll give them some water. Just gonna make sure that my potatoes are covered. And that's it. We're gonna give them a water. You wanna make sure that this stays moist but not too wet so your potatoes rot. That's why you have slits in the bottom so excess water can drain out. We're gonna do a few more of these bags, see how well they grow compared to the potato tower. All of our potatoes are in our bags. We're done our potato tower, and we also tilled up a spot right in the ground behind me. We're gonna plant a row of potatoes right in the ground so we can compare what grows best here for us. Is it the tower, the potatoes in the bag, or simply in the ground? That way we can make decisions going forward in the years to come how to get the best harvest in our area. It's a great way to experiment to see what grows best for you so you get the best results. We got all of our potatoes planted. We got some that we just threw in the ground to see what happens. We got our bag potatoes and our tower done. These are a great option if you have a small space like a patio and you want to plant potatoes but don't have the room. Now, another way to save money is to actually go to the grocery store and buy organic potatoes. Make sure they're organic because those aren't sprayed with root inhibitors. When you buy regular potatoes, those are sprayed so that they don't sprout, and if you plant them, you're not going to get a harvest. It might be cheaper for you to buy organic potatoes than it is to buy seed potatoes, because here in Canada where we are, seed potatoes are actually quite expensive. But we're going to water these, give them all a good drink, and keep an eye on them. If you guys want to see what kind of harvest we get from these, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on that bell notification so that you're notified every time we post a new video. Thanks for hanging out with us. As always, thanks for watching.